Top of the day, beautiful people. Top of the day. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. I hope y'all had a chance to rest really well yesterday on the Sabbath. All right. Okay. So it is Sunday, April the 5th, 2020. And we are on day 115. And today we are reading 1 Chronicles chapter 8, 9, and 10, y'all. What's wrong with this pen? Well, all right, whatever. Okay, let me flip to it. Betwabu, Alicia. Betwabu, Tiffany. Betwabu. Okay. Reading is not that long today. Listen, y'all. This morning when I was in the shower, praying and everything, I was thinking about the article that I read the other day about the Theodore Roosevelt. The Theodore Roosevelt was the very first ship that I was stationed on, right? Lord, you see this pimple right down the back of my nose? It is plucking my nerves. Apparently, sparkling water breaks my face out too. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, but enough of that. I know. So y'all be staring at my nose. I know I've been putting hot water and alcohol on trying to get it to go down, but it seemed like today when I did it, the hotness from the water just made it red. Now I look like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So don't stare at it, y'all. I know. I'm just trying to hold my face up like this. Okay, but anyway, I was reading the other day the article from that they put out about the USS Theodore Roosevelt. That was the first ship that I was stationed on, right? Woo-hoo. It's an aircraft carrier in the Navy, and it was on the news too. But they relieved the current captain of his command because there was an outbreak of coronavirus on the Roosevelt, right? Jeez, close quarters with everybody. There ain't no way you can social distance on an aircraft carrier. It is really not, because it's like a floating city, and everybody living in close quarters and a berthing and everything. And it's like, so. But it began to spread. So apparently there was a letter that he had written. I mean, I don't think what he did, and that's what was bothering me this morning when I was in the shower praying. I'm like, he was simply trying to help his people. He didn't want to see that sweep through the ship and everybody sick, because that's a whole, imagine being in close quarters with that many people and everybody start getting sick. It's like, it's a horrible thing, right? So he wanted help for his crew, and apparently he had written a letter, and the news is saying that he leaked a letter, about the virus that was pretty much going through the ship, getting the crew sick and everything. And because of that, because he leaked the letter, because he wanted help for his crew to get stuff up there, get them help, make sure nobody dies or anything, they fired him. And it's a lot of uproar about that, and they're hailing him a hero and everything because he wanted to help his people. True indeed. I'm 100% with that. I truly am, because had that been me, I don't know. I would want to help my people. I need to get some. Listen, this is the same thing. It's happening on our ship. We need help. I would have been calling out trying to get help for my crew as well. So I was in the shower. I was really like bummed about that. I'm like I'm like, Father, he was simply trying to help his crew. I'm like, why would they relieve him? Why would they fire him because of that? And you know what y'all said? And then I completely got it. I completely 100% got it. Like, I don't know why that didn't click at first when I thought about it, simply because military understand, private military, whatever. And although they didn't put this in the articles, and I didn't, because I read a couple articles and I saw a couple of news clippings about it, and nobody mentioned this. But when I heard Yahuwah say it this morning, I completely understand why they would fire him because of that. You know why he was fired, according to what Yahuwah told me? He wasn't fired because he was trying to get help for his crew. He was fired because he compromised the military's position. Blew my mind. Imagine the enemy. Everybody is watching the news. You got different countries. We got our enemy countries trying to watch and see what we got going on over here as well. Because the pandemic is not the only thing that's going on. Like, we're literally at war, y'all. Although we don't see it, we're at war. But what happened was when he did that, and like I said, that's why the military fired him. Not because he was trying to help his crew, but he compromised the position of the United States. And a war vessel, a very powerful war vessel with a crew that is vulnerable. That's why he was fired. So I'm like, whoo. You know, and I just, I prayed for the captain. That blew my mind. Like, I should have known that when I first read it. Oh yeah, strategy, enemy watching and stuff. And but when he said it, everything completely made sense. I'm like, oh yeah, because they're out there, and it's like that's if I was the enemy, if there wasn't another like weak link that I could find, I would know that the Roosevelt is the weakest link at this point, or even some of the cities that have the highest rates of the pandemic, because those are military cities in this country, So, but that's what I wanted to share about that. Hence my title, he was fired during this coronavirus pandemic. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. But I ain't going to be too long today. I'm going to go ahead and get this reading done so we can go ahead and, get about our day. We are in First Chronicles 8, 9, and 10. Bear with me for chapter 8, y'all. Because it is the more genealogy. Chapter 9 is genealogy mixed with story, and 10 is pretty much story. And it's on 10 is 14 verses, 9 is 44 verses, and 8 is 40 verses. So like I said, the first 40 verses, y'all, is strictly genealogy. So bear with me. I know a lot of people fall out. They don't even read the genealogies themselves. I used to be the same way. I just skip right over the he begat her, or he begat. I'd skip over it, but it's very, very important. So bear with me. Hang tight. Hang in there, y'all. Now Benjamin begat Bela, his firstborn, Ashabel the second, and Ahara the third, Nohath the fourth, Rapha the fifth, and the sons of Bela were Adar, Gera, and Abihud, and Abishua, and Naaman, and Ahoa, and Gera, and Shephufan, and Huram, and these are the sons of Ehud. These are the heads of the fathers of the inhabitants of Geba, and they removed them from Manahath, and Naaman, and Ahiah, and Gera, and he removed them, and begat Uzzah, and Ahihud. And Shaharaim begat children in the country of Moab, after he had sent them away. Husham and Bera were his wives, and he begat Hodesh and his wife, Jobab and Zibiah, and Misha and Malcolm, and Jeuz and Shakia and Mirma. These were his sons, heads of the fathers. And Husham, he begat Abitub and Elpal, the sons of Elipal, Eber and Misham, and Shamed, who built Ono and Lod with the towns thereof. Beriah also, Shema, who were the heads of the fathers of the inhabitants of Ajalon, who drove away the inhabitants of Gath. And Ahio, Shashak, and Jeremoth, and Zebadiah, and Arad, and Adar, and Michael, and Ispath, and Johar, the sons of Beriah, and Zebadiah, and Meshullam, and Hezekiah, and Heber, Ishmerai, also Jezliah, and Jobab, the sons of Epal, and Jachim, and Zikri, and Zabdi, and Elinai, and Zilthai, and Eliel, and Adiah, and Beriah, and Shemrath, the sons of Shimhai, and Ishpan, and Heber, and Eliel, and Abdon, and Zikri, and Hanan, and Hananiah, and Elam, and Athothiah, and Iphidiah, Penuel, the sons of Shashak, and Shemshirai, and Shehariah, and Athaliah, and Jereshiah, and Eliah, and Zikri, the sons of Jorham. These were the heads of the fathers by their generations, chief men. These dwelt in Jerusalem, and at Gibeon dwelt the fathers of Gibeon. And at Gibeon dwelt the father of Gibeon, whose wife name was Maachah. And his firstborn son Abdon, and Zur, and Kish, and Baal, and Nadab, and Gerdor, and Ahio, and Zechar. And Mikloth begat Shemiah, and these also dwelt with their brethren in Jerusalem over against them. And Ner begat Kish, and Kish begat Saul, and Saul begat Jonathan, and Malchishua, and Abinadab, and Eshbaal. And the son of Jonathan was Meribbaal, and Meribbaal begat Micah. And the sons of Micah were Pithon, and Melech, and Teriah, and Ahaz. And Ahaz begat Jehoiada. And Jehoiada begat Alemeth, and Asmaveth, and Zimri begat Moza. And Moza begat Beniah. Rapha was his son. Eliasa his son, Azel his son. And Azel had 6 sons, whose names are these: Azrikam, Bochirua, and Ishmael, and Shariah, and Obadiah, and Hanan. All these were the sons of Azel. And the sons of Eshek his brother were Ulam his firstborn, Jehush the second, and Eliphalet the third. And the sons of Ulam were mighty men of valor, archers, and had many sons, and sons, 150. All these were the sons of Benjamin. 1 Chronicles chapter 9. So all Israel were reckoned by the genealogies, and behold, they were written in the book of the kings of Israel and Judah, who were carried away to Babylon for their transgression. Now, the first inhabitants that dwelt in their possessions in their cities were the Israelites, the priests, the Levites, and the Nethinims. And Jerusalem dwelt of the children of Judah, and of the children of Benjamin, and of the children of Ephraim and Manasseh. Uthai, the son of Ammihud, the son of Omri, the son of Imri, the son of Benai, the children of Pharez, the son of Judah. And of the Shilonites, Isaiah the firstborn and his sons. And of the sons of Zerah, Jewel and their brethren, 690. And of the sons of Benjamin, Salu, the son of Meshullam, the son of Hodaviah, the son of Hasinua. And Ibdinah, the son of Jeram, and Elah, the son of Uzi, the son of Mikri, and Mushalam, the son of Shephatiah, the son of Ruel, the son of Ibnijah, and their brethren according to their generations, 956. All these men were chief of the fathers in the house of their fathers, and the priests Jediah and Jehoiarib and Jachin, and Azariah the son of Hilkiah, the son of Meshullam, the son of Zadok, the son of Mariah, the son of Ahitub, the ruler of the house of Yahuwah. And Adijah, the son of Joram, the son of Pashur, the son of Malchijah, and Messiah, the son of Adiel, the son of Jazirah, the son of Meshullam, the son of Meshilemith, the son of Immer, and their brethren, heads of the house of their fathers, 1,760, very able men for the work of the service of the house of Yahuwah. And the Levites, Shemaiah, the son of Hashitub, the son of Azrikam, the son of Hashabiah, of the sons of Merari, and Babakar, Hirish, and Galal, and Mattaniah, the son of Micah, the son of Zikri, the son of Asaph, and Obadiah, the son of Shemaiah, the son of Galal, the son of Jeduthun, the son of Berechiah, the son of Asa, the son of Elkanah, that dwelt in the villages of the Nephathites. And the porters were Shalem, and Akub, and Talmon, and Ahiman, and their brethren. Shalem was the chief, who hitherto waited in the king's gate eastward. They were porters in the companies of the children of Levi. And Shalem, the son of Kori the son of Ebisaph, the son of Korah, and his brethren of the house of his father, the Kohathites, were over the work of the service, keepers of the gates of the tabernacle, and their fathers being over the host of Yahuwah, were keepers of the entry. And Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, was the ruler over them in time past, and Yahuwah was with him. And Zechariah, the son of Meshelemiah, was porter of the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. All these which were chosen to be porters in the gates were 212. These were reckoned by their genealogy in their villages, whom David and Samuel the seer did ordain in their set office. So they and their children had the oversight of the gates of the house of Yahuwah, namely the house of the tabernacle bywards. And 4 quarters were the porters toward the east, west, north, and south. And their brethren which were in their villages were to come after 7 days from time to time with them. For these Levites, the 4 chief porters, were in their set office, and were over the chambers and treasuries of the house of Yahuwah. And they lodged round about the house of Yahuwah, because the charge was upon them, and the opening thereof every morning pertaineth to them. And certain of them had the charge of the ministering vessels, that they should bring them in and out by tale. Some of them also were appointed to oversee the vessels, and all the instruments of the sanctuary, and the fine flour, and the wine, and the oil, and the frankincense, and the spices. And some of the sons of the priests made the ointment of the spices. And Mattathiah, one of the Levites, who was the firstborn of Shalem the Korathite, had the set office over the things that were made in the pans. And the other of their brethren, of the sons of the Kohathites, were over the showbread to prepare it every Sabbath. And these are the singers, chief of the fathers of the Levites, who remained in the chambers, were free, for they were employed in that work day and night. These chief fathers of the Levites were chief throughout their generations. These dwelt in Jerusalem. And in Gibeon dwelt the father of Gibeon, Jehiel, whose wife name was Maachah. And the firstborn son, Abdon, and his firstborn son, Abdon, then Zer, and Kish, and Baal, and Ner, and Nadab, and Gedor, and Ahio, and Zechariah, and Mikloth. And Mikloth begat Shimeam, and they also dwelt with their brethren at Jerusalem over against their brethren. And Ner begat Kish, and Kish begat Saul, and Saul begat Jonathan, and Malchishua, and Aminadab, and Eshbaal. And the son of Jonathan was Meribal, and Meribal begat Micah. And the sons of Micah were Pithon, and Melech, and Tariah, and Ahaz. And Ahaz begat Jarrah, and Jarrah begat Alameth, and Asmaveth, and Zimri, and Zimri begat Moza. And Moza begat Beniah, and Rephiah his son, Elisa his son, Azel his son. And Azel had 6 sons, whose name were these: Azrikam, Bokiru, Ishmael, Shariah, and Obadiah, and Hanan. These were the sons of Azel. Last chapter for today, y'all. 1 Chronicles chapter 10. Now the Philistines fought against Israel, and the men of Israel fled from before the Philistines and fell down slain in Mount Gilboa. And the Philistines followed hard after Saul and after his sons, and the Philistines slew Jonathan and Aminadab and Malchishua, the sons of Saul. And the battle went sore against Saul, and the archers hit him, and he was wounded of the archers. Then said Saul to his armor-bearer, Draw thy sword and thrust me through therewith, lest these uncircumcised come and abuse me. But his armor-bearer would not, for he was sore afraid. So Saul took his sword and fell upon it. And when his armor-bearer saw that Saul was dead, he fell likewise on the sword, and he died. Now that's somebody faithful. That's like things that we see in movies that I don't know. I was about to say the Japanese or the Chinese do. When they see their leaders falling down dead, they die too. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna live another day. We're gonna try and keep this party going. Y'all bless them. Have proper burial if we can, but I ain't falling on my sword because you done fell on your sword. Verse 6. So Saul died, and his 3 sons, and all his house died together. And when all the men, but we know that Saul and his house was going to die together because of the sin of Saul and what Yahuwah had said, and the prophecies that went. So this is recapping what actually happened that we read back in Samuel. And when all the men of Israel that were in the valley saw that they fled, and that Saul and his sons were dead, then they forsook their cities and fled, and the Philistines came and dwelt in them. And it came to pass on the morrow, when the Philistines came to strip the slain, that they found Saul and his sons fallen in Mount Gilboa. And when they had stripped him, they took his head and his armor, and sent it into the land of the Philistines round about, to carry tidings unto their idols and unto the people. And they put his armor in the house of their gods, and fastened his head in the temple of Dagon. And when all Jabesh Gilead heard all that the Philistines had done to Saul, there arose all the valiant men, and they took away the body of Saul and the bodies of his sons, and they brought them to Jabesh, and buried their bones under the oak in Jabesh, and fasted for 7 days. So Saul died for his transgressions which he committed against Yahuwah, even against the word of Yahuwah which he kept not, and also for asking counsel of one that had a familiar spirit to inquire of it, and inquired not of Yahuwah. Therefore he slew him, and turned the kingdom unto David the son of Jesse. Remember, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. All the mediums, the spiritists, the soothsayers, the witches, all of them, Yahuwah said that is an abomination, and they should not be in your land. If they're there, they must go. They must die. So you still had one there. It didn't say necessarily she was practicing, because when Saul showed up, he knew, that she was one. Somebody said he asked one of his servants to seek out a witch or whatever. So I'm not sure if she was practicing, because when Saul showed up and she realized it was a king, no matter of fact, before she knew it was a king, she said, that if they find out witches are here, no, we're not supposed to be doing this. He said, be sure, you're not going to die. And then when she realized it was King Saul, she was like, you came to, pretty much say, you came to kill me? No, I'm not hearing from Yah anymore, and I need to know what's going on. I need you to bring up a man for me. You could tell she was kind of hesitant, because it's like, you endangering my head here. Like you would be endangering your head to the king, but it was the king that was asking you to do this foolishness. So it's like, what do? You cause the people to sin when you turn away from Yah. Whether you know it or not, that's what happens. So I need you to call up a man. And normally, mediums and witches, they're not calling up the real people. So when they call them up, or they're conjuring spirits, like y'all ever seen on like TV when they got like they're doing like seances and stuff like that, and they're like some woman or dude coming there like, my mother passed and I didn't get a chance to say bye, or there was something that was left undone, and I want to know if you can call her up, so we can like get this resolved so I can move on with my life. I'm like, let's turn this crap, because I know it is going. But what they do, they're not conjuring the real people. They're summoning demons. That's why people that do this stuff start getting all crazy in their lives. And it's like, bruh, don't do that. No. So, that's our reading for today. But anyway, she thought she was conjuring up one of her demonic spirit friends or whatever, but who came up was Saul himself. Who allowed Saul himself to come up at that particular time, So, shortly thereafter, King Saul was dead. All right, quick recap, y'all. It is Sunday, day 115, April the 5th, 2020. We just finished reading 1 Chronicles 8, 9, and 10. If you missed it, watch the video, go back and read it yourself, listen to it on your Bible app, however, you don't have to just stop there either. You can read back further, or you can read ahead. That's up to you people. All right, so with that being said, we're about to read the blessing. And where does the blessing come from? Numbers chapter 6, verses 22 through 27. And this is the blessing. Yahuwah said, you bless my people like this. And he said, I myself will come and bless them. So may Yahuwah bless us and keep us. May Yahuwah make his face to shine upon us and be gracious unto us. May Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon us and give us his peace. All right, beautiful people, I love y'all. And I will see you bright and early, first thing on the morrow. Oh, remember, Passover is coming up Tuesday, April the 7th, beginning at sundown. Remember, I would really recommend you go back this week, even beginning today. Like, what are we supposed to do during Passover and Feast of Unleavened Bread? Because Feast of Unleavened Bread begins the very next day. But if you go to Exodus, you will see, this was when they was delivered They were delivered from Egypt, from bondage. So Yahuwah said these feasts are memorial feasts, and we are to keep them perpetually, forever. That means forever. He said, in all your generations, even meaning our generations. I know the church teaches us about Easter, but Easter has nothing to do with Passover. They are not the same thing. Some people may believe they're the same thing. They are not the same thing at all. At all. Not the same thing. But Passover represents the last plague that was wrought against Egypt, because Egypt was killing Yahuwah's firstborn. Remember, Yahuwah said all through the Old Testament, he said, my firstborn. But Twabu Titi, Israel is my firstborn. Not just talking about one person. He was talking about the entire nation, all the people of Israel, all the 12 tribes, or the 12 sons of Jacob. Remember, Jacob's name was renamed to Israel. So when he says that, he's not talking about one person. He's talking about an entire nation of people. He said, this nation of people is my firstborn. And because Egypt held them in bondage, of course, Yahuwah sent them there because of their disobedience, and they were killing them. He said, because you're killing my firstborn, I'm going to kill. That was the last plague. He said, because you're killing my firstborn, he warned them. He said, let my son go, that he may come and worship me. When he says son, every time you hear Yahuwah say son, it's a plural. He's talking about the entire nation of Israel. The church teaches is one person. If you don't understand, you don't go through here, you don't understand how Yahuwah talks, even in dreams, like we talked about it before. He gives a singular, but when he gives the interpretation, it's always plural. It's always the group of people. Even when he talks about the beast, although it was one beast, he was talking about an entire heathen culture, all the people, all the systems that included it. Like I said, so you must read through here so you can have a complete understanding while you read through. It's right there in our face. It's totally easy to understand. So during Passover, we just celebrated. We get it tells you to get a lamb, and although we're not killing the lamb because we don't have livestock, all of Yahuwah's people, most of us, we're all still in captivity. Although it may not seem like we're not in slavery like it was before, we're like in a different type of slavery. But some people don't think they're in slavery. But let one of our people get out of line. We're going to see real quick how much freedom we truly have. Think about that, y'all. It looks a little different, but we're still in captivity here. And we're treated like that all over the world. We are still in captivity. So think about that. Go ahead and think you're free if you want to get out there and do something that some other person with a privilege can get away with doing. You find out real quick. They'll remove you from your place, your position. If you was a house slave, you can be a field slave because you thought you could rise up. Man, that's why because they know it's a deliverer coming from among our people. That's why they killed our men. Because that's what scripture says. A deliverer, Yahuwah is going to raise it. And think about it, all through it, Yahuwah, he does it the same way every single time. He raises up the deliverer from the midst of the current generation where he's going to deliver them. Moses is the most famous one. But you go through it, remember, and every time we do it, remember, I pointed out to you, here's another deliverer. Here's another savior of Israel. There are multiple saviors and multiple deliverers of our people throughout the times, and Yahuwah raised them up. So that's why they were always after the men to kill them. And this, we know, prophecy says, they take our book and they teach it to all the world like it's another religion you can just dab into. No, this is our history book. And they've blinded most of our people. Most of our people, they just want to chuck it away. Our religion, blah, blah, blah. But you don't realize it's our history book, and it's a book of accurate prophecy. Of course, they didn't add a little leaven into it. But as you read it, Yahuwah will open your eyes and he'll show you, hey, this, look at this. This right here, this was added, or something was taken away. And he'll make it known to you. And you can begin to clearly see what's going on around you. You think they don't know? They didn't shut down. I didn't mention this, but they didn't shut down like all the sport. When do you ever do that? Like the whole world may not be on lockdown, but what can you do? The only people that's going to work is essential workers, and some people that's being hard-headed, but they know they go into their bunkers and stuff. People flint. Why? They're watching the sky, like all this different stuff. That's why I'm putting the articles. As you know, if you've been on the page, you've been seeing it. So I'm sharing with you guys as much of the puzzle pieces as possible, so what you see can become clear. But they know this is the time where a deliverer comes and the people are set free. They know that. They know that. They absolutely know that. Y'all have to know that they know that. Even with the laws and stuff that they pass and the executive order stuff that was signed by the current president, it's like they're giving subtle hints to the world who's in cahoots with them. All the nations have conspired together to wipe the name of your people off this earth and to hide them and take. That's what it says. So they give out, doing their news broadcasts and different things that they put out, they're sending out signals and messages and secret messages to everybody who's watching, who's a part of the conspiracy against Yahuwah's people, that time is up. You know, that's why they shut all this stuff to everybody get to their place. And that's why it talks about Yahuwah said, you think you can hide up in the sky, you can hide deep in the ground, I'm going to come down there and I'm going to get you out of there and I'm going to pull you back down. You know, I'm just like, people going, all right, I'm sitting here with my bucket of popcorn. Stand by and watch and see the salvation of our Lord. He's coming to set his people free. And he said, and while he's doing that, he's going to judge the rebels among us, because there's some hard-headed folk among Yahuwah's people. They're going to do what they want to do. They don't want to listen to what Yahuwah said. Oh, I ain't doing that. Nope. He said, keep my commands. And that's how we're sealed, y'all. And we are sealed when we keep his commands. I will keep those who keep my commands. So you people talking about the mark of the beast. What about the mark of Yah? Keeping his commands marks you by him. And he says, as judgment is poured out, he said, begin at my house. I need to deal with the rebels. I cannot leave you unpunished. He says that I cannot leave you unpunished. So I'm just telling y'all the truth. You just pay attention. You ain't got to listen to what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, pay attention to what you're seeing around here. And you can get a lot of different stories about what's going on. They trying to explain away y'all and what's going on. They're going to give it some type of scientific term, something to sound good to them. Oh, yeah, okay, it'll pass over in a little while. We could just go back. Life is no longer going to be the same like it was before all this started. Life is not going back to that way. Although people want to believe, and I'm telling you, you're still sleeping. You're not paying attention to what's going on. All right, so that being said, y'all, we already did the blessing. So I love y'all, and I will see y'all bright and early in the morning. Peace.